Procrastination, one of the biggest issue, or should I say excuse, when it comes to completing or starting a specific task. We know that if we complete the task, we will be one step closer to success. But even if we know that, there are still things more important than that. For example, there are 2,500 videos uploaded on YouTube every minute. And of course, we cannot miss any of them, so we better get to scrolling for an hour or two. Maybe we just got ourselves ready to work, but there's notification on our phone and we are back to scrolling. Or maybe we just want to search something on YouTube, but that first page has some interesting videos that we click on. And in the middle of the video, we are already asking ourselves, what were we even planning to search? These kinds of procrastination are the most popular among us, and some people even make habits out of them. But there's 100% way to avoid them. Okay, so first of all, don't think that I'm some super dedicated ultra-human working 16 hours a day. No, I'm far from that. I also find myself struggling with procrastination quite a lot. For example, just to start writing this script, it took me probably 3 hours of scrolling on my phone, and when I finally start doing it and start searching for information on YouTube, I saw that shiny thumbnail and I had to click it. And boom, 20 minutes went by just like that. But I really want to change that and unlock my full potential. So in the span of the next few days, I'm gonna try a few different methods and see if any of them can help me be more productive and, most importantly, be more focused on the task at hand. Before we start any of them, we first need to understand how procrastination cycle works. The procrastination cycle is made out of 4 things. First, we make excuses, and then, of course, we procrastinate. But the consequences of procrastination is feeling guilt. With that, we panic and we want to start. And when we are about to start, excuses come back. That is the easiest way to explain the procrastination cycle. And we need to break that at the beginning, and that is making excuses. Because if we simply can't make any excuses, the procrastination would never happen. Now that we know that, we can start trying some methods. But first we need to find them. Trying to find these is quite a challenge because most of them are just telling me to believe in myself and in my abilities. Okay, great, but I want an actual physical method, because if I believe in myself, that does not mean that YouTube Shorts will not tempt me. On the internet there are plenty of ways to stop procrastination, but I also want to try some of the more weird ways, and luckily I found some, and now it's time to put them to the test. The first one I found is from Dr. Andrew Huberman, and he's saying that if you stare at one stationary point from the same distance as you will work on from 30 to 60 seconds, you can instantly fall into the focus and overcome procrastination. In my case, I'm gonna try to stare at one letter or dot on a screen. I tried to understand how all of this even happens, but I didn't understand much. It has to do something with placing our focus outside of our body and putting our brains into goal pursuing mode. I don't know. Let's try it out and see if it works. Okay, so it's been a full day of trying this method, and here are my findings. This method didn't help me a bit, because when I was looking at one letter for 60 seconds, my focus drifted apart, and after 60 seconds I didn't know where to start and I got distracted again. So this method just does not work for me. Now let's try another method. Okay, so the next method, it's called do something method, and I don't know who invented it because I just found it on some blog. But anyways, it goes like this. When you start realizing that you're procrastinating, you just go and do something else, like cleaning the dishes or cleaning the apartment, or anything that will give you that small dopamine hit of achieving something. With that, you will be ready to move on to some bigger task, which is usually the work you should be doing before. Now that we know that, let's try it for one day. So it's been a full day of trying this method, and here are my thoughts. At first I loved the method because it actually worked, but through the time, when I did it for the 3rd time, I find out that first, the method is quite time consuming, and that second, there is only so many things to do in my apartment. So I can rate this method a solid 6 out of 10 because it was helpful, but it is not sustainable for the long run. Now let's move to the next method. Now let's try the 3rd method, and it is called adventure work. The point of this method is to work somewhere else, not where you used to. For me, that's my apartment. Apparently it should help me kick into the flow much easier and faster in an unknown environment than in the workspace I'm always in. Now let's try it out. So I picked to go into a home time library because there is silence, and I think that in this environment I could work nicely. And oh yes, you can. I got so engrossed in my work that I lost perception of time, and I can say that I was all the way into the flow state. So, if you have problems with procrastination, I'm 100% advising you to try this. Now, let's move on to the last but not least. And now the fourth method is called a phone method. And apparently it is not your phone that you want to grab while you're working. It's the notification that triggers you to grab your phone. And even if notifications are not from the social media, you just go onto social media because you have your phone in your hands. For that reason, I'm gonna try to work with the phone at the reach of my hand and notifications turned off. With that, we will see if notifications are actually the thing that starts procrastination. For this experience, I'm gonna be using my productivity phone setup. Now, let's get to work. This method also worked quite good, and I know that most of you are asking yourself, isn't that obvious that you put your phone on the airplane mode while working? And you'll be surprised how many people actually don't do that. So yes, this method works 100%. I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. Here we go, it's been 4 days, and let me tell you what I found out. For me, almost every method worked, except the first one about staring. That one didn't help me a bit. And I also found out that all of these methods can work like butter for you, but if you don't have the right mindset, you will not be able to achieve anything. Because at any point you can stop working and start procrastinating. I think that if you want to achieve something, these methods can help you a lot, especially if you apply them correctly and have a dedicated mindset. Thank you for sticking to the end, and see you next time.